Hey yo, Munchies here with an Awakened Chaos Era video. Today is a quick how-to guide on Deshmir, the light elemental boss in No Man's Land. Let me help light your way to victory.
Let us defeat our foe!
No Man's Land is located in the Dungeon tab on the bottom right corner of the main screen. Lord of Holy Light is on an every other day rotation with Shadow Captive. Like every other element boss, Deshmir has 9 stages that increase in difficulty. Stage 1 drops light gems. Stages 2 through 6 drop light gems and crystals. And stages 7 through 9 drop light gems, crystals, and obsidians. These are used to update your light heroes' abilities. Water, wood, and fire heroes have no elemental advantage or disadvantage, so any of them are viable. Because light and dark have the elemental advantage over each other, a dark hero will do 50% more damage, but they will also take 50% more damage. In the beginning stages, you can just YOLO damage dealers and brute force your way through this dungeon. When you get to stages 8 and 9, and you don't have the gear to take down Deshmir within the first 4 turns, it is probably best to bring in a healer and one hero who can remove positive buffs from an enemy, along with a defense down debuffer and damage dealers. If you are lucky enough to pull Imogen or Crazed Urzag, they can remove buffs on their ultimate and special, respectively, while still doing very high damage. However, if you pulled Evelyn First Dawn, she will remove buffs on her basic, put defense down on her special, buff your team with attack and defense up on her passive, and then grant your entire team a bonus turn in the same round. Gangelo can also fill this role as his special removes any and all positive effects. But for cheaper options, LORDREC can remove positive buffs on his ultimate. The new guy thing, Akubi, on his stilts can remove buffs on his special. You got Edicris, Virgil, and recently buffed Kayn with a guaranteed chance to remove a buff on their basic, with Kayn also having an additional 30% per swing to remove a buff after. You got Thomas, who has a 50% chance to remove a buff on his basic. An even cheaper option is an Ascension 2 Kaluk, whose passive grants him a 100% chance on any attack to remove a positive effect. Other strategies include putting a no positive effects debuff on, which includes the aforementioned Akubi, who removes an effect, then places no positive effects debuff, or my girl Freya, any way to work her in, and I think there are some others. Also, another option is to use your Water Prison special team ability. While it won't stun the boss, it still will remove all his positive effects. Wave 1 is 4 paladins that are absolutely not merry. Their first attack is Shield Bash, which is a single target attack with a 25% chance to stun. Their second and only other ability is Refuge, which just applies a random positive effect to all team members. And yes, they will all cast this in a row, potentially giving one of them 4 different buffs. But any AoE damage dealer with any respectable amount of attack should be able to take them out quickly. Wave 2 is Deshmir, Lord of Holy Light. When first engaging Deshmir, we'll take a look at his passives, of which he has 3. Light Armor is his first passive, which grants him 200% increased defense. This is why bringing a decreased defense will make your life easier. His second passive is Body of Light, which grants him a new stat boosting effects every turn with a max of 4. These buffs cannot be stolen, but can be removed, which is why bringing a buff remover is essential, at least until you have the heroes and gear to YOLO this guy in 4 turns. And his last passive is Secret Heart, which upon gaining 4 stat boosting effects, launches a bonus attack, Judgment Day, dealing devastating damage to all enemies. His first attack is Sacred I think it's Sacred Sword Dance. There either needs to be a space somewhere in there, or it's got too many B's. But this is a AoE attack which deals damage to all enemies. Damage scales with the number of positive effects affecting Deshmir. He will also buff himself with attack up 2. His next attack is Holy Burst, which is an AoE ability with a 50% chance to apply accuracy down 2. This turn he will cast defense up 2 on himself. His third attack is Sacred Spear, which is a single target attack which has a 50% chance to apply speed down 2 for 2 turns. On this turn he will cast speed up 2, which can move him up the turn order, granting himself another turn very quickly. If you haven't removed any buffs, he's going to be at 3. You can tell how many buffs he has by the floating runes around him. Now would be the time to remove his buffs, whether it be someone special or even the team special I mentioned earlier, Water Prison. If you do remove his buffs, his next attack is Sacred Shield Strike, which is a single target attack with a 50% chance to stun for 1 turn. If you continue removing buffs, he will follow this attack rotation until the end of the fight. However, if at any point he gains 4 positive buffs, all 4 runes will charge him, and he will cast Judgment Day, which will lead to utter destruction. Now you can immune this with someone like Celestial Cain, but you better kill him or remove his buffs within the next turn, or he will cast Judgment Day again and one-shot everyone. As long as you have enough damage, defense down, and a positive effect remover, you should be able to extinguish this Lord of Light and dim the brightness of his future. I cannot help myself. Just remember, Stage 9 doesn't always drop an obsidian and significantly less amounts of gems and crystals. Stay hungry,